It's been proven over and over that writing really helps when it comes to retention. So first, write down your guard to improve your coordination. Why? Because jujitsu is still technique based, and if your coordination, if your balance, your posture, they're not good, then there's a big chance that you can't apply those techniques. So that shows your brain doesn't know the difference if it actually happened or not. That's why some dudes are like, and people are, also delusional because they're like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Valor Training Center YouTube channel. I am Mark Entrata, 47 years old, first degree black belt under the legend himself, Cobrina Charles. And I am the head of Alliance Jiu-Jitsu here in Manila. And our academy is located in Valle Verde Country Club in Pasig. And I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for almost 25 years. 25 years. And I've been teaching for around 15, 16 years, running my own team. So, very important. Remember, if you're new to this channel is mostly for beginners and hobbyists and older people. Now, one of the challenges for especially older people, because in theory, a lot of older people become more busy. So, the topic for today is, what if you can only train once or at the most twice per week? And how can you get better at jiu-jitsu? Guys, you're looking at the ultimate hobbyist. My average training in the last 24 years, 25 years, is still around twice a week. Well, that's why it took me 19 years to get my black belt. But hey, it was super worth it because, brother, I got it from the man himself, Cobrina. But anyway, so here are my tips, because I also have a lot of students who are older than 30, around 35 and up. We even have guys in their 50s. So here are some suggestions I have for you guys. Oh, but hey, before we start, man, you see my wall of fame, the legends wall over there? Man, we got a new guy. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. Rest in peace, Dime. This is from Super 7. I'm not even sponsored, but, I just think this is like super cool. So if you're a Pantera fan, come on, man. Comment your favorite Pantera song. Let's go. Let's rock. Anyway, enough of that. Serious talk. Here are some of my suggestions if you can only train once or at the most twice per week. Now, if you're already training 5, 6, especially if you train 7 times a week, man, this episode isn't even for you, but it will still help you. But my main suggestion for you is this. Brother, if you're training 7 times a week, there's more to life than jiu-jitsu. Trust me. You gotta have a life outside of jiu-jitsu. So anyway, for those who have lives outside of jiu-jitsu, that's why you only get to train once or twice at the most. Here are my suggestions. Number one, the very few times that you're able to train, you have to maximize it. So basically, train with intent. Everything from the warm-ups, regardless whether you're doing some jumping jacks to improve a little bit of your cardio, your coordination. Especially when you're doing shrimps, visualize already. I'm escaping side control. I'm escaping the mount. When you're doing Granby rows, imagine you're being stacked or something like that, or throwing someone via tomonage, stuff like that. So you're really maximizing everything. And then when it comes to the techniques, you really have to pay as much attention as you can. And, when you're sparring, when you're not sparring, here's the thing. When you're not sparring, try to observe. Try to observe the higher belts, especially people who have more or less the same body type as you. Because let's say you're, I don't know, like 5'3" and like 100 pounds. But then you're at the academy, you like the style of this guy who's like 5'11", 190 pounds. Maybe his game isn't really for you. So try to observe the higher level guys. Your same, like kind of same body type. Now, here's another suggestion while you're watching the spar or even the positional drills if you're just watching. So you still get to learn. Try to predict what they're doing. Because here's the thing. When you predict something, there will always just be two outcomes. You're either right or wrong. So when you're right, you gotta go see, oh, cool, I figured it out. So that kind of stays with you. And when you're wrong, you're like, okay, note to self, don't do that. Or at least what you were thinking of. It really helps you when it comes to analyzing these things and improve. Next, the second suggestion is you journal your training session. It's been proven over and over that writing really helps when it comes to retention. So first, write down the techniques you learn. That's the first part. Second part, if you did positional sparring and sparring, categorize what happened into two areas. First, what were the techniques? Actually, you can make three. What were the techniques that you pulled off successfully? Let's say, oh man, I got someone in a hip bump sweep. Cool. You write it down. Should be successfully. Or I was able to do the knee cut pass. You write it down. Second, techniques that you almost got, like 50, 60, 70%, almost there. That means you're just lacking either the details or the timing. And then the third one, stuff that you need to improve on. Let's say, oh man, I always get caught in an arm lock from the mount, or I always get my guard passed. Now, that's very general. So this is where also staying a little bit more calm will help you remember things, because it's hard to remember things when you're super stressed. So when you're calm, you get to remember, oh, the dude did a knee cut pass on me. I remember I did in one of my older videos, which you should watch. I think I discussed this in the video where, like how to improve on anything. So that's it, man. Be more calm. You have to try to be as specific as you can. Let's say you're getting passed via the knee cut. Try to remember what grips your partners are using. So there you go. So journal. Why? Because this will help you be more efficient every time you train. You can keep sharpening the stuff you're good at because, again, you have very limited time. And of course, you want to be a good training partner. You want to be a threat in sparring also. So you keep sharpening the game from column one, which is what techniques you pulled off. Later on, you will see certain patterns that, oh, hey, I get these techniques a lot. And so it's easier to build a game around it. Now, the third suggestion I have is, now you got those, man, invest in mats, because what we do is still predominantly grappling. So if you really want to, I mean, man, how much are mats? In the Philippines, puzzle mats are probably around 800 pesos to 1,000 per mat. Try to get 4 of those. Those are going to be good investments for you. Because why? Now you have the mats. Now after you buy the mats, now you can practice the individual movement. So this is the fourth suggestion. Practice individual, because you don't have any. I'm assuming you don't have any training partner. Okay. Try to look at the videos Cobrina did, especially during the pandemic. He did a lot of solo movements to improve your guard, to improve your coordination. Why? Because jiu-jitsu is still technique based, and if your coordination, if your balance, your posture, they're not good, then there's a big chance that you can't apply those techniques. So for me personally, a big part of my game became so much better during the pandemic, because during the pandemic we weren't allowed to train, but Professor Cobrina started doing online Zoom classes, and all we could do were individual movements. Sometimes it would be Kennedy who would be teaching those classes. So when we reopened back in 2022, my movements were just a lot better. So try and do that. Now, After the individual movements, the fifth suggestion I have is, if again on days that you can train, do around 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, if you can do 30 minutes, even better, of cardio and strength and condition. It could be body weight, it could be a lot of stuff you can find on YouTube, as long as it's safe. You really just have to mix a little bit of low intensity and high intensity, almost like sprinting. Why? Because when we spar, man, the pace varies. Some could be like boom, and then goes down a little bit, and then why? Because we want you to not gas out too much during training. Because again, if you just train once a week, it's really gonna be tough to have good cardio during sparring. And the thing is, this also leads to safety, because doesn't matter if you kind of know what to do, how to defend yourself, but if you're super tired, your body isn't reacting the way it should, or you wanted to do this, but you were just super tired because you didn't really do anything outside of your once a week jiu-jitsu training, then you can get injured. So do around 50. If you can just do 10 minutes, go ahead, as long as it's gonna help you become a little bit stronger, have better cardio, so you can still catch up. I mean, your cardio isn't gonna be lagging too much, especially during sparring where it could get dangerous. So yes, I do have a list because I tend to go all over the place, which I still am doing right now. Next, yes, number six advice: go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, you should. If you haven't subscribed, that it'd be awesome, man. Only we're here to help each other. So subscribe if you haven't. But going back, so now YouTube will help you also, because remember, go back to your journal. You're like, oh, let's just go with, let's say, triangles. Oh, for some reason, I catch people in triangles, okay, more than any other submission. So you can work your way around that submission, or work your game around it. So now you research, oh, okay, how do I finish the triangles better? Or, yeah, I get people in triangle, but some of them escape because they're doing this. Yeah. And again, since you only train once a week or even twice a week, maybe you don't have time to even ask your professor about, or coach, or man, like crazy. Like, some people really get riled up with the term professor for us jiu-jitsu guys, because they're kind of like, man, but you guys are morons. You guys aren't smart, man. You're so pretentious. Brother, if that riles you up, man, I don't know. But anyway, so as professors, see, maybe you don't have time to ask. So this is where you use YouTube the right way. So you're not all over the place. You're still, you know, uh, still in the path of what you can do. And another one, again, also for the techniques that work against you, or positions that you're having a hard time, let's say side control escapes or mount escapes. See, this is where you use YouTube. Next, seven is, and this is, I do a lot of this. Because again, in reality, me, the last 24 years I've been doing jiu-jitsu, probably my average training sessions per week, on the average, is just two. I actually skipped a few, like I skipped a year of training, and then there were years that I trained like three months, or and even when I was training like 6 months, 7 months, I would just at the most show up twice a week. But anyway, but I still could hold my own. Of course, I was getting my butt kicked by all the high level comp guys I used to train with. But at least I was still holding my. I wasn't like super terrible. And even up to now, our comp team trains so much. Me, I just teach the fundamentals. I just do a lot of movements. People don't even see me do positional drills. Okay, I'm not saying you should skip that. But my point is this: it's because I also visualize a lot. I visualize before training. I visualize at home. Because there's also this study that shows your brain doesn't know the difference if it actually happened or not. That's why some dudes are like, and people are, also delusional because they're like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. But the good thing with how the world works is if you're also delusional, the universe always has a way to remind you that yeah, you're delusional. But anyway, so visualize. Even the best guys, this is what they do a lot. There's an interview with Hodger after his match with Buchecha, the second match, and he was telling people, he told this over and over, different interviews, that before he even fought Buchecha the second time, in his mind, he already beat him, I don't know, like 1,000 times. So visualization. So let's say you went to the class. After that, try to visualize what the instructor was teaching. Just visualize over and over. Imagine different scenarios. So it's really gonna help you because you don't let. I'm assuming you don't have a training partner, and when you're doing the individual movements, like I suggested earlier, see now your imagination becomes easier because you're ganyan siya. That's why there's shadow boxing. There's also shadow grappling. So visualize, man. That's really gonna help you a lot. Also, just going back to the YouTube videos, if you're searching for videos and stuff, again, based on what you can do and what you need to work on, try to look for videos that also explain the concepts behind these things. Why it works, why you need to do this, why you need to do that. The whys, not just this is how you need to do it. Because again, jujitsu, the situations aren't always going to be perfect. So you have to know how to adjust. And you can only do that if you know the concepts. That's why I'm not a big fan of when I was in high school, when people just memorize the multiplication table, 7 times 7 or 49, right? But they don't know how it actually works. That's a you can't memorize math. You can't memorize jujitsu. Why? Because 3 plus 3 is what? 7. Now I'm just checking if you're so it's 6, yeah? But if you just memorize that and you don't even know why it's 6, if it's 3 plus 4, now you're like, I don't know, 8? You can't figure it out because you memorized it. That's why concepts. That's why if you don't like math, which I love math, that's the easiest subject for me. Because I don't have to memorize them. My memory isn't that good. Anyway, so I hope you guys got the point, right? Concepts. You have to know why things work so you can adjust. And if you're creative, you can create stuff later on. That's what the ecological guys do. So anyway, next one, 8. Focus on defense. Focus on really just if you're working on something, focus on making sure first you're safe. Because defense, if you can protect your arms, your neck, like later on your legs or whatnot. But again, I'm assuming you're a beginner, you're a hobbyist, you're an older guy. So focus on protecting yourself first. Why? Because again, since you're just training once a week or even twice a week, when you do spar, there's a bigger chance that you'll really find yourself in bad situations more often than not. So if you can practice your safety, you can practice the escapes. And that's what, yeah, again, I just said it. You don't get the chances of you getting injured is gonna be much, much lower because you're not actively attacking yet. Because you're just like defend, defend, defend. Yeah, sure, maybe your partner's gonna find you boring, but it is what it is. You should think of yourself first. You gotta be safe first. So yes, if you can focus on escaping bad positions like side control and mount and even the back. And then the last one, number 9. Example this. Number 9 is starts here. Manage your expectations. Because it is what it is. Nothing will ever replicate jujitsu training. Nothing. I know this for a fact because during the pandemic, I was able to do jujitsu. Nothing, never came close to, at least for me, stress release and even the social aspect and the technical aspect of it. But I still found ways to get better that will complement my jiu-jitsu. That was the time when I started lifting a little bit more. That's when I started focusing more on coordination and balance and posture and pace. I'm still working on a lot of those. I continuously work on those, but jiu-jitsu is still jiu-jitsu. So what I'm saying is this: just manage your expectation and really don't go into training, especially when it comes to sparring, that you're gonna be like, I'm gonna show this guy, I'm gonna beat this guy. Don't even think about winning yet. Just go, I'm just here to have fun. But focus on what's this channel about. So focus on your safety first. Just manage the expectations. Just be grateful that you have the privilege to at least train even just once a week, because some people don't even have that privilege. See, it's all a mindset shift. With that, once a week is still better than zero training per week. And there's always, like I mentioned, try and do those things. I'm not saying do all of them, but if you can, you'll see, man. You'll see, and thank me, or maybe not, but just subscribe. That's how you thank me, man. And make a comment if you have also, if you're a guy or a girl who's been doing jiu-jitsu for a while but can only train for once or twice a week. Maybe you got some tips to share that I don't even know, because remember, we're here to help each other out. I'm sharing what I know, but if you also know some stuff, man, that can help me and the others, that would be awesome. So with that, my friends, stay safe. Remember, always stay safe. Then let's have fun. So what? We can train jiu-jitsu until we are 9. Of course, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Especially to all the subscribers, I am truly grateful. Especially to those who keep watching and those who keep commenting. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.